Hi guys, today we're going to talk about EMFs. They're electromagnetic fields, and whether or not they affect the human body. Not just people with illnesses, but the human body in general. And the answer is yes, of course. For those of you who don't know what EMFs are, they're these energy lines that are created when our electronic devices are working, or when electricity is emitted. You know why people don't want to live near power lines, because there have been incidents of people getting brain tumors and leukemia. And even though they're scientifically, there have been no real good scientific studies done to say, yes, this is why, that person got leukemia. Although, we all kind of know, because, after a while, when so many people only have one thing in common, and that's that they live near power lines and they're all getting leukemia, yeah, it's not hard to figure out. But also people who have inflammation in their body, when they have chronic illnesses, when they have inflammation, they're very sensitive to EMFs. And I don't think people realize different electronics in your home emit different EMFs. The computers don't necessarily emit magnificent amounts. However, we sit in front of them for so long that we're constantly getting exposed to it. So we're getting an abundance of it. And that's why we get tired when we sit in front of it, or we get kind of mindless, and all of a sudden we go, God, how did I wind up on Facebook for 2 hours? Well, that's why, because you're kind of being, for lack of a better term, your brain's being sucked, the life's being sucked out of it. And what happens is, when you get overexposed to EMFs, you have what I'll call brain fog. You just kind of forget what you're doing. You just kind of, time goes by. You don't know how, time went by so fast on the computer or television. I am convinced that people who are, quote, couch potatoes are really just affected by the EMFs. Because personally, when they never really bothered me before, but then I was never a big television watcher. I've never been one to sit in front of a computer for a long period of time. But when I started having severe lupus flares, and I would sit in front of the television, I could literally feel my energy depleting and going down, and literally my body was just starting to slump and go down. And it's like your brain can't kick in to say, turn it off. But once you turn it off and once you get away from it, suddenly you start to feel better. It doesn't take, a scientist to tell you that a study's been done to know whether something's happening or not. So EMFs matter, and there are things in your home that emit stronger EMFs than others. Your blow dryer emits a lot. A men's razor emits a great amount. Electric blankets. If you have a waterbed, the heater that's in a waterbed emits a lot of EMFs. And of course the typical, your television, your computer, your microwave. And pretty much anything that's plugged in. And the number one biggie, cell phones. Cell phones have a very, very high EMF rating. And not just, the receiver you hold in your hand, but people who wear those Bluetooth things in their ear, they're just getting it constantly. Whether that cell phone, of course their cell phone's on, but they're getting it next to their brain. I don't think that's good. And there has been research of people who have had brain problems, head problems, who only have one factor, and that's that they wear that Bluetooth all the time. That may not be the only thing that caused their brain tumor. However, it might have helped them. It might have helped them not develop it. It might have helped them not develop it so severe. Somebody who's going to die from it could have not gone that far if they had known. This is the hard part I have about technology. Even though I love living in this world and that we have so much technology, that's also a bad thing. We have so much technology. You know, we're just given stuff. We're just sold stuff. And, you know, we don't look at the consequences. We don't ask, well, you know, were studies done? Is this harmful? You know, how long were the studies done? There's no studies done on cell phones, you know, before now. So for those of you with chronic illnesses, eliminate those EMFs and just see for yourself if your energy comes back, how much more of it you have, how sensitive you are. In the UK, they've done several studies on, I believe it's called electrosensitivity. That was the name of the study. And how it affected people with, just in general. And then they also did a study with people who had, quote, inflammatory diseases, lupus, MS, Graves' disease, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. And actually, they did a separate study on chronic fatigue, and I'm sorry, I don't know, it wasn't in the UK, it was in the United States, and they did a separate study on those with chronic fatigue, and when they took the EMFs away, their symptoms severely lessened. Like 3/4 of their symptoms went away. So some people, especially those who have an illness already, you know, who are already sensitive to their environment, need to be aware of this. They need to know. Take those things away. Limit them. You know, don't be sold a bill of goods. You know, and yeah, you feel sorry for yourself. You know, your friend can walk around there with their phone in their ear all the time, and you can't. Big whoop. If it saves your life, it makes you feel better. If it helps you, you know, have a more normal life, why not? I would. You know, the glass is half full, not half empty. You have to look at life like that. I have what I need, and all this extra stuff is frivolous. And yeah, maybe I know people out there saying, I need my cell phone. Well, you do. But do you need it 24/7? Do you need to be on it all the time? Do you need to have that thing in your ear everywhere you go? Because you might get a call. And yeah, I know people use them for business and all of that, but you need to take a break. That's my point. You need to get that thing out of your ear and give it an hour break. You know, and your body needs an hour break from talking to people all day anyways. I know, I talk to people for a living. And you know, at the end of the day when my friends call, sometimes I don't answer the phone because I'm tired. I'm just tired of talking. And everyone needs a break from that. And you need a break from all of the EMFs out there. So if you have a chronic illness, I encourage you to just eliminate them, push them away, you know, minimize them as much as humanly possible so that you can, and see how you feel. The organization I've started, Life Beyond Remission, we did a study of 50 people with several different types of diseases. We didn't stick with one disease. And we asked them to give up the EMFs, the major EMFs, computers, televisions, cell phone, and microwave. We asked them to give them up for a day. They could add their cell phone back the second day, but not the headset, and limit the use, and then the same on the third day, but not increase anything. And our findings were 80% of the people who did that, by the second day, they were feeling better. Several people commented on not having joint pain when they woke up. Other people commented on having a clearer head. One person even commented on, you know, wow, I'm like really thinking more clearly because my judgment is like really on. See what happens when you take that away? You get yourself back. The problem is people don't realize what those things can do. So pay attention and do the experiment for yourself. Try it. Just go one day without and see how you feel. Ciao.